and welcome to Scrum Events lecture. So each sprint contains the 4 Scrum events. The first one is sprint planning. Occurs at the beginning of the current sprint to determine what will be completed in that sprint. Second one is daily Scrum. It's a meeting that occurs daily. It usually takes place at the beginning of each day so that developers can talk about what tasks they will be doing and what they need to accomplish these tasks. Third one is sprint review. So take place at the end of the sprint and is designed to gather actionable feedback on what the team has completed. The fourth sprint is the sprint retrospective. It takes place after the sprint review. The sprint retrospective is an opportunity for the Scrum team to inspect itself and create a plan for improvement to be enacted during the next sprint. And sprint. Sprint is the backbone of all Scrum events. They are all happening within the sprint. Okay, now, all Scrum events are time-boxed, depending on the sprint duration, just like you see on this table. So during the sprint, no changes can be made that will affect the sprint goal. So what is sprint goal? The sprint goal is the big picture, what is going to get done that sprint. Suggestions that will change the sprint goal will go in the product backlog and can be implemented in the next sprint if that's what the product owner decides. Now let me give you one example from my work. We were developing a mobile app that allows users to search for food and drink specials at local restaurants. So the sprint goal for this sprint is to set up the user interface. So this is everything that the end user will see and interact with. Halfway through the sprint, the client sent me an email saying that they changed their mind. They want the main colors of the application to be blue and white instead of red and black. And this was a quick fix for my developers. But the client also requested that they want the application now supports ads that pop up on the screen. So let me show you what we've done. So changing the colors of the application is a minor change that doesn't affect the sprint goal. So that change could be implemented mid-sprint. Adding pop-up ads will take more development and does not fit with the sprint goal. And that is why I added this request to the product backlog so we can revisit it in future sprints. Okay? Now, important part of the Scrum is definition of done. The working product increment that is delivered at the end of the sprint must be done. This is the responsibility of developers to define the qualities that determine when a product is done. Typically, a feature is considered done when the feature is coded, tested, and documented. And then the team must completely agree on what done means. If you recall from the Agile Manifesto, progress should be tracked by done features. The purpose of this is to avoid having work in half-done states. And this can result in the team working independently and looking busy without accomplishing anything useful. So getting a feature done requires communication, integration, and synchronization. This sometimes requires that development proceeds slowly to ensure that each feature is truly done. So Scrum practices can be implemented individually. But if you implement the practices individually, then you are not practicing Scrum. True Scrum requires that it is practiced in its entirety.